Hey there, Scorpio. It's time to do your energy forecast for the week ahead. Hi there, everyone. My name is Lee Shanks, aka Intuitive Lee, and we're doing the energy forecast for the week of July the 14th through to the 20th. And we are currently working on the sign of Scorpio. So sorry, I've got all these weird reflective lights. I'm sitting outside on my deck and I've got planters and knickknacks all over the place. So I'm getting kind of a weird reflective light here, but it doesn't change the outcome of your reading in the slightest. So this week I'm using the Lantern Oracle. This is your thread of energy through your entire week ahead. And we have for you wishful expectations. All right? So what it says here is acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. And this wheel here, every time I see it, it always reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune in tarot. And we can turn the wheel and we can keep ourselves bound to where we are, right? Or we can stand free of the wheel and allow it to turn and land, and then we can lean into that energy, right? So don't bind yourself to where you are is kind of the energy that I'm getting. And I feel like that's because of those expectations, wishful expectations, right? Wishful expectations brought about by smoke and mirrors. So we're lying to ourselves, or we're believing the words of others that aren't true, or we're following along on some guidance, not because it's good guidance for us, but because we're not thinking it through for ourselves, and it's just easier to follow somebody else's way, easier to meet somebody else's expectations. But I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, when we're trying to live up to others' expectations, they will never be satisfied and you will never be happy. All right, so bust through the smoke and mirrors this week, Scorpio. Get real with yourself. All right, and allow the Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor as a result. All right, let's break your week down a little bit further, keeping in mind that smoke and mirrors, the illusions, breaking free of them is your overarching energy, right? And then tick tock, how much time do you have here, people? Right? The clock is ticking. All right, meaning there's no do-overs. If you're not happy with where you are in life, with what you're doing, then change it. You're not a tree. You don't have roots in the ground. You can move. You can move your energy in a new direction. You can literally pick up and move if you're not happy with where you're at, right? And I get that that sounds easy, and maybe it's not as easy as that to you, but let's start with you, right? Let's start with your energy and moving that somewhere. The change you want begins with you inside, right? Making that choice, making that decision, ending those expectations of others or yourself that were not grounded in reality. All right, and then get at it. You can't wait forever for the change to happen. You have to be that change. All right, and then mending. All right, mending your ways, mending relationships, mending your past, if you will. I really feel like this is where you've been, if I can, a little bit hard on yourself, Scorpio. That's the sense that I'm getting. This is the relationship I feel like you're mending, is the one that you have with yourself. For all the times that you told yourself that you weren't good enough, that you didn't measure up, that you were too much or too little, it's mending that relationship so you learn to trust yourself. That's what I feel like this is leading toward, especially when we talk about those wishful expectations and the smoke and mirrors that we've bought into, right? Forgive yourself for that. Yes, fix it. Yes, address it. But don't beat yourself up for it. That's just compounding the problem, right? We don't want that. We want you to mend that relationship so you learn to trust yourself, right? And then by the end of the week, you're doing it by the book, all right? The by the book is not necessarily doing it somebody else's way, but finding somebody else who's had a similar lived experience, been through a similar struggle that inspires you. Lots of people out there have similar lived experiences, but their way of getting through it is not your way, and you're not going to feel inspired by them. So recognize that and then move on to the next one. Find the person that's going to inspire you, or find the way by the book, right? This is literally saying by the book, which just really means following a procedure, following a policy, if that's what it's all about. Following a way that is already written down, already set, that you can just not have to reinvent the wheel here. You can look at somebody and be inspired by their way of doing things and say, that's how I need to do it. That's the book I need to be reading. And it's not a physical book that you're picking up and reading. Don't freak out. Not even listening to a podcast. It's more about being inspired by somebody else's way, right? And doing it that way. So again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel or figure this out all by yourself. You're going to know it because it's going to feel right to you. All right? Right when I said that, it was 4:44 on the clock, on the timer here. So take that for what it's worth. All right, Scorpio, I hope you've resonated with this reading. If you'd like to know more about me, please look me up at leeshanks.com. Otherwise, do hit your like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you back here next week. Blessed be. I hope you're having an amazing summer. Bye for now. Please leave me a comment in the chat below if you're so inclined.